Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the farm. We have just returned from the processor, making the unpopular decision for some, but a necessary decision for small farms, or any farms for that matter, that are raising animals for food. But we took one of our breeders to the processor this morning. We're going to tell you who that was and why we took her to the processor. You guys have been following along. You guys can tell there's only one pig left in this pen, and we don't ever keep our pigs by themselves. If I can get this gate open, she might be stuck by herself if I can't get it open, but this is Cheryl's pen, and you guys remember Smitten. Grab her stuff because we don't want to keep her by herself. Come on, Cheryl. Smitten was in this pen with her, and you guys remember Smitten had that limp, and it would go away and then would come back. We had it looked at. We flipped her, looked at her pad on her foot, could not find anything, so I don't know if it was in her joint or what it was, but Cheryl knows it's breakfast time. So we made the decision to take her to the processor. We didn't want her to have to struggle to try to take care of litters, struggle to move, and it was just the best decision all around. Not an easy one. Even though our farm is set up to feed us and feed our community, it's never easy to take the pigs to the processor. The end result is fantastic, but you do grow attached to these animals, but their purpose is for food. And so we took Smitten today. We'll be picking her up in a week or so. Come on, Cheryl. So for the time being, Cheryl is moving up into what we call the meat pen. She is a future breeder for us, so she will not be eaten. Come on, Cheryl. Come here. Right in here. Of course you're not gonna come in here. Cheryl, come on. Hey, come on. You gotta come on this side of the fence. Come here. There we go. You gotta know the way to their heart. So I've got the meat pen fed down on the other side so I could get her put in here. Let me get this fence shut up, and then we'll talk about the meat herd and what we do with our other pigs as they start to get older. All right, we've got them secure again. Let me grab my bucket so I don't wonder where that is as we head back. But so definitely we are a food farm. We're not a petting zoo, although we could probably make more money as a petting zoo. But our main goal is to provide healthy food that can feed our family and also feed our community. So Cheryl is in here with what we call our meat pen. And now we do sell breeding pigs, breeding quality pigs. And but every pig is not breeding quality, and people have asked us what we look for. We look for straight backs, just like a big rectangle table. We've talked about that before. Legs on the outside of the table. You don't really want their feet bowing out or pointing in. And we do our best to provide the best breeding quality pigs to people that want them. And normally we sell to people starting homesteads and getting into pigs to raise meat for their own family. So if you're breeding pigs, we're not a piggy mill. You know how some puppy mills are. They're just trying to breed to earn money. That is not us. So if you're breeding pigs, you're obviously going to be eating pigs as well. So if that's something you don't want to do, then breeding pigs probably is not for you. You wouldn't want to purchase pigs for breeding just because you want cute little piglets, which everyone enjoys that, and so do we. But here is our meat herd. Now we do have good quality pigs in here as well, but like I said, we don't sell everything that we produce. There are some pigs that aren't that great in here as far as just the growth rates that they're having and things like that, but you can't just sell everything. That's how markets get flooded and animals go into animal shelters and all that kind of stuff. So if you're gonna breed them, you gotta eat them as well. And like I said, that's not the fun part about all of this. And we've lost subscribers and people have sent nasty messages to us, which I don't care. I don't care about that. We share this for people that wanna enjoy this. Some people do just like to enjoy the pigs, and some people are learning a few things. So that is our main goal. But the biggest goal is to feed our family. And so that is what we are doing. But when we have pigs like Smitten, who was a breeding pig, she came from another farm, and that other farm were responsible breeders, and the person we got her from, she did not want to have to eat pigs, so she was not going to breed pigs anymore. And so that is why we got her. And she had litter. She had litter last season. Then she started that limp, and we couldn't figure out what it was. So we just thought it was in her best interest to not be bred anymore. And like I said, we're not a sanctuary. We're not here just to feed animals and have a bunch of pets. And so she is at the processor, and she will feed our family and other local families. So nothing goes to waste. And we think that's pretty awesome that they're able to live their lives outside in the sun, in the grass, in the woods, get rotated. They're not on their manure. We think they have a pretty good life. So she is at the processor. Like I said, she'll be feeding our family shortly, and we are excited for that opportunity as well. I remember the first time we went to the processor, we took a pig in. It was our first one. I came back out to the truck, and Jamie was in tears and freaked me out. I said, "Do you want me to go get the pig? You want me to go tell them we'll take it back?" And she said, "No. Obviously, we do care for these animals, but we do know their ultimate purpose as well." So we get the question a lot, what do you do with like old boars and things like that? So we're going to talk about that a little bit in this video, and that is why in this pen we have no boars. Anything that we're not going to use for breeding, we will castrate. Boars, I'll show you when we get to a boar pen, they grow this really hard cartilage right up here on their shoulders. This is one of our barrows, and he has no cartilage there because he is castrated, and so they don't grow that hard plate, and that hard plate is to help them defend themselves when they get into scuffles with other boars. And so that is one of the reasons you don't want to eat a boar. We'll talk about some of the others with some of our boars here. So let's go check them out. We'll come back and see Cheryl before we leave. She's way on the other side of the pen, way through the trees. That's where I brought her in. I wanted her to be able to eat. She'll adjust to this pen very well. But before we get to the boars, you know we got to keep our fire going. So I'm gonna run over here. Oh. After I trip over the fence, spill some feed out here. Let's keep our fire going. All right, there you go. I wish I could say it was day 7, 8, or 9, but it's only day 5. This is the day after the last video we took. We knew we were taking a pig to the processor, so we had another video coming, but I just don't have the heart to let this fire go out. I've got so much to do out here. I might as well keep using it every day. So here's one of our breeding boars, Ryder. And let's see if I can show you that plate I was talking about. It's hard to see, but if you grab a hold, watch out there too, Luis. Just on this shoulder, if you grab a hold, there's a big old hard cartilage plate. I don't know if you can hear that, but that's what they grow when they still have their testicles. And so as far as boars go, there's a thing called boar taint. If your male is intact and breeding age, they can have a thing called boar taint, and it makes the meat very, very gross. You can smell it, and some people are more sensitive to it than others. We did process a boar. I don't know if you remember Kevin, way back when we first started. We had him processed, and I didn't notice it very much, but Isaiah was very sensitive to it, and every time we'd cook some of it, which we didn't end up eating it all, but our dog Cal eats all natural, so he was able, it didn't go to waste, but he would say, "Is that Kevin that you're cooking?" He could smell it, and it has a bad taste to it. So as far as what we're gonna do with our old boars, besides Kevin, who we had processed, we haven't had old enough boars that have timed out, if that makes sense. They're not getting the job done. They're not getting pigs bred anymore. We haven't got to that situation, but I think for us, we would probably dispatch them here on the farm and let them and bury them back on the farm. And that's not an easy decision either, but it's part of being a farm. If an animal isn't being productive, then it is time to go, and that's just the hard truth. And you don't want to castrate these older boars. They're just way too big, and it'd be way too hard on these pigs to castrate. And so, while none of ours are close right now, in the future, that is what will happen to our breeding boars. Now, for some reason, which I don't see this happening, but you never know the future, we talk about making changes. Maybe we'd make another change and sell the farm. Now, if our animals were still breeding quality and breeding age, obviously we would sell them. We wouldn't just dispatch them. But people always ask us about the chickens as well. And obviously you guys know the meat chickens we process here ourselves. That is their purpose, for meat. But a lot of people will ask about the egg laying chickens, and we're getting new egg layers here shortly. So let's talk about what we do with our older egg laying chickens. All right, here are the egg layers. You guys have seen them before. And as far as our egg layers, now normally when a chicken molts, it loses about 20% production of its egg laying. And this is our older flock here. They had their first molt. So they are going on 2 years old, and we've been replacing chickens every 2 years. And what we do with the old ones is these birds, although sometimes they look big, once you get rid of those feathers, they are very small birds. And some people will process them and use them for stew hens. We don't really have a market for stew hens where we're at. So what we do is we list our chickens on local sales networks. There's a lot of people that do want them as stew hens. And so they'll come and get them live. We do not process them. And then the younger flock replaces the older flock. Now, these birds that we've got right now are laying super good. They're still relatively young. So we may switch. What are you looking at? We may switch to maybe 3 years and then rotate the flock out. But that is what we do with our old hens. What are you doing up there? Our old hens will go into local sales groups, and there's a lot of people that are looking for hens, and they still lay eggs. They're just not as productive as we would like them for the amount of feed that we're putting into them. We want a lot of eggs. So there's what we do with our older hens. I have processed before, but the time it takes to process and the amount of meat that you get off of these hens is not worth it, in my opinion. If I had a market where people wanted to buy old stew hens, sure, I would probably do that, but we just don't have that. So a lot of people just come and buy them and put them out in their yards, and they still lay some eggs, just not as productive as we need them to be. So as far as, I guess I didn't talk about the old sows. Now we haven't aged any sows out where they haven't been productive, or they're just not having big litters. But when that time comes, sows are fine. They don't get that gross meat. So our older sows, once they're done producing, then we will take them to the processor as well. Let's go find Cheryl. She's obviously finished her breakfast here. So let's see where she's at. Obviously we don't want these pigs by themselves. That's why we moved her in here. And all of our other pens that we have all have boars in them, and she is too young to get bred, so we do not want that to happen. So that is why she is moved in here with what we call the meat pen. Let's see where she's at. I'm sure she'll fit right in. I don't see her yet. Oh, actually I probably do see her. No, that's not her. Hey, have you seen Cheryl? You see Cheryl anywhere? Oh yeah, that is her. Looks like someone's bullying her right now. Cheryl, come here. Come here. You've never been with this amount of pigs, have you? So she's gonna wander here. Well, I guess it's a good thing we came over here and checked. How's it going? You got a lot of new buddies in here. I promise they'll be nice here shortly. So I guess I'm glad we checked on her. We got a stick on our fence. That's always not good for the electric, but are you the one bossing Cheryl around? Is that you chasing her? Huh. You look kind of suspicious. So she is in here checking out the area. There's a lot more stuff to get in here than the pen she was in. She is not enjoying herself right now, but as always, she will do just fine. Cheryl, come here. Come here. We want to let everyone know that you're okay. Got another stick on the fence here too. How you doing this morning? There you are. Yeah. So she will do just fine. She's probably got, I would say maybe next spring before she gets bred. Like I said, we don't want to move her in. These females could come into heat at 5 months old. And if she was in with a boar, she could possibly get bred, and that would not be a good thing for her at this size. So we normally like to wait around 18 months. Just depends on the actual female. Some grow bigger and faster than others, and they have a frame that's able to handle a litter of piglets, and some need to wait a little longer. So probably next spring it will be till she has her first litter. So she'll hang out with this crew for quite a while now. So anyway, guys, I hope some of that makes sense to y'all, why we do what we do and how we make some decisions on animals as they get older. It's just part of it. It's not the most fun part, but it is part of it. So anyway, hope this helps if you're thinking about raising animals, and hope it helps if you're not sure why some people do what they do. So anyway, I hope you guys are having a fantastic week. Don't forget to make the change, and we'll see you on the next video. Are they being mean to you, Cheryl? I'm sure you guys will get along together here shortly. They just want to see who you are. Okay.